Now Israel loved Joseph more than all of his children because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream. And he told it to his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which have I dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in a field. And lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said unto him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream and told his brothers and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. His father rebuked him and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed bow down ourselves to the earth? And his brethren envied him, but his father observed his sayings. This morning I want to talk to you from the subject, Dream to Live. Dream to live. Let's say amen for the reading of God's word. This morning I've come to call your attention that you take your seat, amen, to the life of Joseph. How Joseph suffered and endured hardships and trial and tribulation from his own family because he was a dreamer. I don't know about you, but I'm thoroughly convinced that you have to watch who you tell your dreams to.
My God.
Concerning your life, you cannot tell everybody your dreams. And you can never allow yourself to become so hung up on folks and become so naive to the point that you really think that everybody is for you.
Amen.
Yeah, everybody's not for you. And I want you to know that. I heard the chairman was talking about that in his inspirational message, that he got some family member that he can't even deal with, and that's a shame. It don't mean we don't love them. It just means that we got our grown man game on, and we ain't got time for a whole bunch of foolishness.
You got that right.
Oh, yeah, that's all that means. And so I want you to understand that haters aren't born, but haters are made.
Amen.
And what you really need to get, if you don't get anything else, I say out of this message, that they really don't hate you on SLE, the person. But what they despise is the favor and the anointing of God that's on your life.
Amen.
Get no help. And so instead of becoming a dream catcher and wishing you the very best in life, they allow the enemy to use them, and they become dream killers. And so you don't have to raise your hand, but just ponder in your mind and ask yourself, am I a dream killer? And so today we must learn to dream. And many times I thought about it. We celebrate Martin Luther King's Day. He has more streets and avenues and roads and statues and in a lot of cities. I haven't really tried to find out how many cities in America that recognizes him. But he did not deliver us.
Amen.
And somebody get mad. Folks don't like to talk about the king. But I serve the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And I'm not knocking what he done.
Yes.
But many times we focus so much on the dream of the king that we don't dream for ourselves. Oh yeah. Just nudge your neighbor and say, you got to dream for yourself. And so he's recognized. And rightly so. But there are many others before him that sacrificed and gave the ultimate sacrifice to help bring us out of the Jim Crow, some of the things that we were confronted with. And all praise and glory belongs to God, because it's God that works in our events and our circumstances. Oh, you got to get some word. You just can't shout it all. You got that week to go with it. Y'all help me, we're going to be on out of here. Yeah. And so I want to define a dream. That's right. Webster defines a dream as a train of thought or images passing through the mind in sleep. And many of us have been known to daydream, and so it's evident that you don't have to be asleep, amen, to dream. My wife told me, I drove all over this place yesterday, and she told me that every eye shut ain't sleep, but I just knew she was knocked out. She got another one. She told me every eye closed. It's not sleep. And so you don't have to be asleep to dream. It says that a visionary idea, anticipation, or anything real having a dream-like quality. And so I said to myself that a dream, amen, is a divine revelation. I know we have some nightmares, we call them. The folks say you just can't eat pig feet and all that kind of stuff when you go to sleep and you get the dreaming crazy. Yeah. But a dream has a purpose. Yeah, it has a purpose, and God sets it. He sets it out. And so it's divine revelation, amen, along with expectation awaiting manifestation. Something that Bishop Blake said, and I've quoted it, and you've all heard me say it here, that if your dream doesn't require a miracle, then you're not dreaming big enough.
Amen.
If your dream doesn't require a miracle, then you're not dreaming big enough. And so in this text we find this young man, Joseph, who had found favor with God. Amen. And that's why I heard Jake say some years ago, amen, that favor is not fair. Yeah. But favor is right.
Amen.
And so he found favor with God.
Yes.
And he was the knee baby of his family. He was the young son of Jacob, who was known as the trickster. God changed his name, amen, and changed his name and said, you shall no longer be called a trickster, but I'm changing your name to Israel. And so the text I've just read in your hearing says unto us that that Jacob loved Joseph more than all his children. And then it lets us know this, Sister Holloway, it said because he was the son of his old age. And people love to say, and many of us are parents in here, and I just want to give you something to think about, that we love all of our children the same. And you do. But there's one that you will go just a little bit further for. Okay, somebody already laughing. And so you have one that can just get more out of you than the others. Yeah, if you would only admit that. And so the word declares that Jacob made him a coat of many colors. And I believe that this coat would represent all the nations that would bow to Joseph. Amen. And that all the nations that would bow to him, as you will learn as I go on in this message.
Yes, sir.
And the more the love Daddy showed to him, the more his brothers hated him. Lord, help me here. And you would think that the brothers would have gotten together and confronted their father, amen, about showing Joseph favoritism. Yeah, and not charge Joseph. Hello here. And so what we need to do today, instead of looking at folks and getting something in our hearts and saying in our minds that we can't stand folk and how folk this and how folk that, you need to take that up with God. Wow. Tell them, don't get mad with the favor.
Don't get mad with the favor.
Get mad with God. And so I heard the preacher say one time that it's not my fault, but it is my problem. And so if it's not my fault and it is my problem, I got to deal with the problem.
Yes, yes.
And so it says that Joseph dreamed a dream
Yes.
and told his brothers. And I've been trying to teach you all here, amen, that God deals with us in different ways.
Yes.
And so in Numbers, that 12th chapter, the 6th verse, he says, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision. And I will speak to him in a dream. And folks, God send dreams to people, and people are trying to find out what the dream means. And so you call it around because your spirit is stirred, because you done had a dream and you can't interpret that dream, and it got you all shook up. And folks say, I dream about a baby, and I dream about fish. And black folk, we all superstitious. You dream about fish, this gonna have that. And you dream about this, and that's gonna have that over here. But I want you to know that God is trying to get your attention. Yeah, God is trying to get your attention. And so it says that God will deal with us in dreams, God will deal and speak to us in visions, and he deals with us through his word.
Yes.
Amen. And in that book of Job, the 33rd chapter, the 14th verse, he said, for God speaketh once, yea twice, yet man perceiveth it not. He speak in a dream, in a vision of night, when deep sleep fall upon men, amen, in their stumbling